What's up, everyone? This is the Jose Show. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. As we all know, the Grammys were this past weekend, and the Grammys gave us a lot of surprises and a lot of nice glamour, of course, in the red carpet. Oh, yes, we saw a lot of gorgeous dresses, gorgeous outfits in this year's Grammys red carpet. One of them happens to be, of course, Miley Cyrus, Cardi B, Lady Gaga, and much, much more. Oh, yes. Now, let's start off with the show. Um, we saw a lot of surprises in last night's show. Of course, the biggest winner of the night was Casey Musgraves, who won Album of the Year for her album Golden Hour. She becomes the first female country artist since 2010 to win Album of the Year, since Taylor Swift won for her album Fearless back in 2010. And also, she becomes the first female artist to win 4 awards, including Album of the Year, because Casey Musgraves not only won Album of the Year, she also won Best Country Album, Best Country Song, and also Best Country Duo. She killed it. She happens to be even the first big winner in 4 categories or more in the country genre for the Grammys since Taylor Swift did. So congratulations to Casey Musgraves for being the biggest winner of the night. She had stiff competition. She was competing against Drake, Cardi B. She was also competing against Brandy Carlisle. She also got to compete with Post Malone. She had stiff competition, that's for sure. And then Record of the Year was handed to Childish Gambino for This Is America. Song of the Year was also handed to This Is America by Childish Gambino. And Best Pop Vocal Album was handed to the one and only Ariana Grande for her album Sweetener. So congratulations to Ariana. This marks her first Grammy win of her career. I couldn't be any prouder as a huge Ariana fan. I really cannot be any prouder. And then Best Pop Solo Performance was handed to Lady Gaga for Joanne, Where Do You Think You're Going? And of course, that was a wonderful win for Gaga. I mean, she even slayed it in her performance for Shallow last night. One of the best performances of the night, I have to admit. And then Cardi B's performance for I Like It and for Bodak Yellow was actually pretty cool too. She even rocked the stage with the outfits that she was wearing, and then with all those dancers that she had in the background. It was, wow, amazing. The way she was dancing on that stage, that she was showing off her moves and all that. And then Lady Gaga, she got so personal with her performance. It was like one of the most emotional performances of the night. Because of course Shallow is a very personal song. It's a very nice song, and also the song is, well, obviously one of the most acclaimed songs that it got nominated for like 3 or 4 Grammys. So that's something right there. And honestly, that right there was like a performance to remember from last night's Grammys. It really was. And then we also got much more performances. We got performances from, I believe Travis Scott even performed. So yeah, and then we also got to see the tribute for Dolly Parton, Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, and much more were up there in that stage doing the tribute to Dolly Parton. And then we got to see a tribute to someone else last night. It was and um Andra Day, Fantasia, and um it was someone else. Man, I forgot the other singer's name. Andra Day, Fantasia, and I forgot who else it was. But it was a tribute to Aretha Franklin. That was a tribute that these three wonderful women did last night. It was a tribute to Aretha Franklin. It was a great tribute, by the way. So yeah, last night was filled with lots of tributes. It was pretty amazing. Um, and then of course we got to remember the ones that passed away because there's a little segment where we get to remember those that passed away. To be honest, looking at that segment, looking at that part, that section of the people that passed away at the Grammys last night was pretty touching to me. It was pretty sad, of course, to me because um, well, yeah, of course they died. I mean, that's the worst feeling ever is to see someone die. But what got to me even more was that some of those artists that died were young, especially Mac Miller. When I saw Mac Miller on that um, section of the ones to remember that passed away this past year, I honestly was very. I honestly got put down a lot. I honestly got put down a lot. I honestly got even more sad to see that Mac Miller was in there because I mean I'm glad the Grammys remembered him, but to see him and to remember the fact that he's dead, that really got to me. I'm like, man, Mac Miller, he was young. He was only 26 years old when he passed away. He was too young to die. And unfortunately, he died because of a drug overdose that unfortunately he couldn't take and handle the fact that he was addicted to drugs. And I was like, damn, he was such a dope rapper. He was such a dope person. And to see him gone so soon, so young, is something that's completely irresistible. So, yeah, Mac Miller was one of the artists that really got me down the most to see in that segment the the artist that passed away. So yeah, that really put me down. That really got me sad the most. And then I saw, of course, another artist that, well, I already knew that she passed away, but of course it really stood out to me too, was Aretha Franklin. I was like, oh my god, she was such a great artist, such a great human being. She had such a wonderful voice. Unfortunately, she passed away because she was sick. She was sick, and she was only 76 years old. I mean, okay, the way I'm saying it only, but I mean, still, I mean, I feel like she should have lived longer and she could have been healthy and all that. But unfortunately, some people at the age of 76, I mean, they can't live any longer, and their life just comes to a short span at the age of 76. They're gone and they're gone. So, yeah, that's another person that really had me remember of them was Aretha. And James Ingram was one of them that, of course, was in there because he recently passed away a few weeks ago. He just passed away on the 29th of January. So that was another artist that really got me like, wow, like he should have never died, and he died right before the Grammys. That's another thing that really got to me. I was like, damn, he should have at least gone to the Grammys and been able to have that chance to be at the Grammys, but things just didn't go out the way we would expect. So yeah. Um so yeah, that's one thing that got me touching, and that got me pretty sad from last night's Grammys. But I mean, that's how it is. That's how sometimes life is. I mean, we have our happy moments and we have our saddest moments. But I'm glad that the Grammys were able to give out that tribute to the ones that passed away, and to well, tribute, I mean, as in remember the ones that passed away. That's that kind of tribute. Um, and remember them, because I mean, it would have been worse if the Grammys never even remembered them. I mean, they left a legacy, especially Mac Miller, who died so young. I mean, even though he died so young, he still left a legacy. He was such a great rapper, and he could have still been with us today if it wasn't for his drug addiction. Okay, and now another thing, and a happier thing from the Grammys, is that we saw a lot of course, not just tributes, but also a lot of great hosting going on from Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys did such a great job hosting the show. She had a lot of great humor. She had the whole entire audience awake. She had the whole entire audience up, and she was literally one of the highlights of the night, I have to admit. I mean, of course, because she was the host, but I mean, other than being the host, her humor really made it a highlight. It really made it great. So I really am happy that Alicia Keys happened to be the host, and that the Grammys got to pick someone different for once. Because the Grammys, they would keep on picking LL Cool J for the show, and I feel like it was just time for the Grammys to pick someone different. Someone completely different. Um Post Malone, by the way, he left the show empty-handed. He didn't win an award last night. And he was one of the biggest rappers that was nominated in the major categories of the night. So I thought that he was gonna win at least one or two awards. Really, Dua Lipa happened to win Best New Artist. That was also one of the biggest highlights of the show. She ended up beating out BB Rexa, her, and Luke Combs, and much, much more that were in the category. And as we all know, this year the Grammys had 8 people nominated in each category, so it was pretty different from the previous Grammy shows. But it was still a competition to even look forward for. It was a stiff competition. It was even stiffer because it was more people. So yeah, I honestly thought that it was huge, really, having to see this. And of course, by the way, Dua Lipa ended up being one of the performers from last night's Grammys, so I highly remember. Um, and then another thing that I noticed was that the show, it was 3 hours long, so it happened to be it happened to end like at around 8:30 or 8:35ish at night. It happened or 8:31 at around that time. So it was like more than 3 hours, like a 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It was pretty pretty long, but it was actually, I think it was worth seeing though. I honestly think it was worth seeing. So yeah. And then another thing that I noticed though about last night's Grammys was that Alicia Keys not only got to host a show, but she also got to perform. She got to pull out those vocals for last night's show. I was impressed. She got to sing her biggest hits on the show last night. It was pretty nice. I loved it. I really did. I feel like that's what gave the show even more momentum and more strength. I mean, I just hope that this year's Grammys is good in ratings, because after what I've heard from the previous Grammy shows, unfortunately, there have been lower ratings, and that's disappointing. I mean, the Grammys is one of the most important awards of the year. And for it to have low ratings, I just feel like it's just giving it the less significance and the less what's it called, um, good feedback from the audience, really. So yeah, definitely. Well, anyway, that was last night's Grammys, you guys. If you guys missed out on last night's Grammys, um, just go to the website Grammys 2019, and you will see all of the winners, all of the red carpet highlights of the night, and you will see, of course, all of what went on in the show, even the performances and the tributes that went on. So yeah, there is a lot to see at that website for you to keep up on if you missed out on last night's show. So yeah, definitely. And then another thing that I have to say is that if you missed out on the live feed from last night's Grammys, I believe maybe there will be like a repetition going on with the Grammy show. Not on CBS though, but I think there will be like a repetition going on maybe online where you could watch the whole entire show. Really, I mean, I had to download the CBS app in order to watch the Grammys, so it was crazy for me. But I mean, hey, at least I got to watch the Grammys. But yeah, anyway, that was last night's Grammys, you guys. It was fun. It was interesting. We had a lot of surprises, snubs. If you guys were not even happy with last night's winners, please comment below. If you guys were happy with last night's winners, still comment below. Like and subscribe this video, of course. And obviously, please tell me about the red carpets and your opinions on the red carpets, red carpet looks. I would love to know your feedback and your opinions on that. So yeah. And then another thing is that I would also like for you to give me more updates on maybe what I didn't talk about the Grammys last night. Maybe something I should have talked about, but I feel like I covered everything. So yeah, that was about it. And the Grammys, by the way, were at the Staples Center last night in LA. So I was only like an hour away from the show. I could have easily attended, but I mean, I didn't win any tickets nor get any credentials, none of that to get into the show. So I mean, I wouldn't be allowed to get in anyway. But anyway, the show was dope. I loved it. One of the best, really. Now I'm looking forward for the Oscars in 2 weeks. Hopefully that'll give us interesting surprises and snubs, because I mean, I do love to see that, because my favorite part of the show, you guys, is the snubs and the surprises, okay? So yeah, but anyway, that was the Grammys last night, so yeah. Now I think I should get on to a different topic. I know I've been talking about this for like a very long time now. But I mean, hey, the Grammys is one of my favorite award show, you guys. So yeah. Well, anyway, on to the next topic. Ariana, she just released her new album, Thank You Next, this past Friday, and it has been getting lots of acclaim and praise by critics. So far, it is the highest acclaimed album of 2019, and the album is expressing the singer by being more what's it called, more strong and wise with her decisions in life. I mean, all of her albums have, but I mean, this one is showing her that the most, and it's showing a different side of Grande as she is going into a more mature side with her music, and of course more trap sounds, and it's already been breaking records. It already went #1 on Spotify. Well, the album already went #1 on iTunes, on the iTunes charts, and on the Apple Music charts, and then the song is charting all over the Spotify charts as well. It's been breaking records on most of those platforms, and now it's really history being made with this new album. 12 tracks and #1 hits. So yeah, she's on it. I mean, if she won 1 Grammy with Sweetener this past year, well, yesterday, then she'll most definitely win more than 1 Grammy next year with Thank You Next, since this album happens to be more acclaimed and more successful than Sweetener. She'll most likely win more than 1 Grammy next year, that's for sure. But anyway, congratulations to Ariana on the release of her new album, and of course on the release of, and of course on breaking records for the album, on the success of the album, and also congratulations to her for winning her first Grammy Award yesterday. Now, speaking of her winning the Grammy but not being there, she gave us a glimpse on Instagram on what gown she would wear to the Grammys if she were to attend the Grammys. The dress happened to look very nice. She was even wearing it in the pictures on Instagram and Twitter. It was a beautiful big silver dress. It was very, very nice. I was like, oh wow, I could imagine Ariana slaying the red carpet with that at the Grammys. And she would have worn it, and she would have been at the Grammys if it wasn't for the argument that she had with the producer of the show, and the disagreement with the producer of the show, all because the producer didn't let her perform the songs that she wanted to perform. And Ariana stood up to that producer, and I'm glad and I'm proud and I applaud Ariana for standing up to that producer, because she has all the right to speak up about the unfairness that the producer did to her in not having her perform a song that she didn't want it to perform, and the producer having to not let her perform a song that she wanted to perform, and having to have her perform other songs instead that she didn't want it to perform. So yeah, honestly, that I think that she had a point in not attending and for standing up for herself. And the Grammys, let's just say, they missed out on a huge pop star performing and attending the show. They really did. If Ariana was to attend the show, the ratings would have gone higher, and the Grammys, they would have had a better show last night with Ariana's performance, slaying it on the stage, and then her attending and the red carpet looks that she would have served. So yeah, and of course she would have accepted her first Grammy Award if it wasn't for this argument that went on with the producer. So yeah, honestly, that's what I feel. That's my opinion. That's what I feel. I mean, yeah, I feel like maybe she could have just attended and she would have not performed at all just because she won her first Grammy. But at the same time, let's understand. Let's get in her shoes. If you're mad at a producer and you're disagreeing with the producer, you don't even want to be in their show. You don't even want to see them. So I feel like Ariana maybe did the right thing and not even attending. I wish she would have attended, but I mean, let's be real here. Maybe she did do the right thing and then not attending and not performing, of course. She did the right thing, definitely. So yeah, that's what I think went on. So yeah. But anyways, let's just hope that Ariana she gets to attend the Grammys next year, and hopefully things change for next year's show, and let's hope that Ariana gets to perform in next year's show. That's for sure. Hopefully, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. So yeah, I think that's it for today. That's all the news that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are the best. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe to this page to watch and to have many more updates of this show. Till next time, peace.